Live stream. Ooh, that's new. I haven't seen that before. New warning message. All right. Let me mute YouTube and then we will be ready to roll.
Another Chicago. Nice.
All right. We are live on YouTube, so hello to anybody that's watching us on YouTube. And it is muted, so we're ready to go. All right. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. We're super excited to be here for this webinar. Oh, Catherine, you're already a co-host, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to tell, but
Oh,
yes.
here, wait. Co-host. You're a co-host now. Okay. You're on as a panelist. I want to make sure you're a co-host.
Just in case, yeah.
Just in case, you know. I was telling Catherine, there we go. Now you're a co-host. All right. I was telling Catherine that we are in the middle of a icing storm here in Ohio. So it's been going on all day. So I am never sure when the power is going to go out. So I decided just to make sure that Catherine's a co-host just in case. All right. Christina. Hey, Christina from Cleveland. I see you there. Awesome. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we will jump right in. So get this out of here, and there we go. So Catherine, I think we probably ought to introduce ourselves for those people that don't know us. So Catherine, why don't you go ahead and kick it off and tell us who you are, what you do.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Catherine Capiello. I'm the other teacher success manager here at Book Creator. I am located in Chicago, so shout out to my other Chicago peeps on here. I'm a former educator myself. I've taught kinder, third, fourth, ninth, and 10th. So basically across the board. If you do hear a barking dog or a squeaking toy in the background, I do apologize. This is Drake. He is hopefully sleeping right now. So I do apologize though if that does happen, but I'm really happy to be here. I will be in the background answering your questions, also looking at the chat and seeing all of your aha moments. So if you have any of those questions, stick those in the chat. I'll also be helping out with some ideas when Jon's going over some of our new features. So I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Jon.
All right. Thanks, Catherine. All right. And I am Jon Smith, for real. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you want to give me a shout out, great. If not, no worries. I'm also Jon Smith at bookcreator.com. So feel free to reach out at either place. Catherine and I are always happy to talk about Book Creator and ways that you can use it in your classrooms. I taught special ed for 12 years, mostly 5th and 6th grade. Then I was a technology integration specialist for 7 years after that. And now the second of two teacher success managers here at Book Creator. So like Catherine said, lots of webinars, trainings, conferences, now that those are a thing again, and basically anything that we can do to get teachers and students using and excited about Book Creator. I'm married, I've got 3 kids, 11, 8, and 4. I love golf and I love clean cars. So if you're anywhere near Ohio, my Ohio peeps, and anybody else, come on down. I'll be more than happy to wash that car for you. So today's agenda, we are going to go over all of the new features that we have introduced here in Book Creator since last week. We made our big announcement at FETC, and so we're going to talk about all of those here today. If you're not super familiar with Book Creator, then this is not a getting started with Book Creator webinar. So we are not going to go over all of the ins and outs of Book Creator, but we do have tons and tons of recordings on our YouTube channel. So if you're new to Book Creator and you're not sure what all this hype is about, I definitely would encourage you to check out some of the videos on our YouTube channel. The other thing that you could do once you have created an account with Book Creator is go to our teacher dashboard, and we have our certification program. And if you click on the certification program, there are 14 videos that will take you on that deep dive through all of Book Creator's features. So I would encourage you to take a look at that as well. Great way to get that deep understanding of all of the features. And when you're done, if you pass the quiz, then you become a Book Creator certified author, and you get this awesome badge here that you can download, put in your email signature, put out on social media. But more importantly, you will have that deep, deep understanding of Book Creator. All right? So We are going to jump right into all of the excitement right now about the new features that we have here in Book Creator. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you where to find the new features, how to turn them on, and then we're going to talk about what they look like inside of a book. All right, so new features. Why? Right? Why did we do this? Because teachers love new features, right? And I love new features. But I do want to say that here at Book Creator, we really truly do believe in the power of simple, right? And so we try to make Book Creator as simple as possible. It's easy to use with kids from kindergarten all the way on up, right? So we want to keep Book Creator simple so that we can continue along that idea. But we also want to listen to teachers. All right, and teachers are always sending us ideas and things that we could add to Book Creator to do this and to do that. And so the challenge has always been, how do we keep Book Creator simple, but how do we add a bunch of fun stuff that other teachers think would be really cool to have in Book Creator? And so our answer is, and as Catherine puts, drum roll please, right? Our answer to this is our brand new app store. All right, so once you are in your Book Creator account, at the top here of the teacher dashboard, just like always, there's libraries, the Discover section, the Learn section, our new certification tab, which, by the way, this is a new feature, and some of you may not necessarily care about this, but we get emails about this all the time. That certification button is now there permanently. All right, so you don't have to click Learn and then the course in order to see that certification. All right, that certification tab is going to be there permanently now. So that's kind of a little side note, separate kind of new feature. But then right next to it, there is our rocket ship, all right? And it says apps. And so this is where all of the new good stuff lives. And so I'm gonna click on apps. And here, when I click on apps, you will see that we have a good start, all right? We've got nice 8 different apps that you are now able to add directly into Book Creator. And so what's really awesome about these apps is that you as a teacher have the control over these apps, all right? And we're gonna talk a little bit about that here in a second. But a couple things that you will also notice as you are looking at this screen. The top row of apps are all free, all right? So these are all included with the free account, with the paid account. Down here at the bottom, we do have some apps that are labeled as premium. So these apps will only be available to those of you that have the full version of Book Creator, all right? So free ones at the top, premium ones down here at the bottom. And we are constantly thinking of new apps and things that we need to add. All right, so there are going to be more of these coming in the future. And if you have any suggestions of apps that you think might be awesome within Book Creator, please let us know and we'll take a look and see what we can do. All right, so I've got all of these apps now, all right? And one of them, which we'll get to in here in a second, might be a little bit, you kind of like, wait a minute, that used to be somewhere else, and that is Google Drive, all right? And so we will definitely explain that one here. But here are the different apps. And I'll start over here with Giphy. Everybody loves GIFs. Kids love GIFs. I love GIFs, right? There's a lot that you can do with GIFs. And now you can add them to Book Creator. And so this process that I'm about to show you is the same for all of the 8 apps that we have. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to choose which of the apps you might want to add to your Book Creator account. You're going to click on the app itself, and then a little card is going to pop up. All right, and so there's a couple of important things to note here about these cards. One, it gives you a little description about what it is. Okay, go crazy with animated GIFs and stickers, all right, from Giphy, which is really cool. There is a button down here that allows you to turn it on. But before we get to that, all right, because I know we're teachers, we get super excited about things. We're like, yes, right, turn it on. I want to use that one with my class. But before you do that, there is a little section down here that says app privacy. And I really, really do encourage everybody to take a look at this. Not only take a look at this, but make sure to talk with your district. Make sure that they understand what this is and make sure that you are allowed to do it. All right, because the last thing we want is for anybody to get in trouble. All right, but If you click on this little button that says See Details, then our privacy card is going to pop up. At the top, there is a link directly to Giphy's privacy policy and their terms of service. But what our engineering team and our privacy guru have done is they've kind of given you the Cliff Notes version of it. All right. And so things that are good to know for Giphy, you and your students don't need to have a separate account. So you don't need to create an account to use the animated GIFs, which is great. And Book Creator makes all of the student and teacher information anonymous. All right. So all of the loading of images and stuff like that is anonymous so that it protects you as a teacher and it protects your students. All right. So that's important, good stuff to know. And then every one of our privacy cards also has, well, maybe not everyone, because some of them are super, super safe. But they also have some information here. It just says be aware, right? It's not a warning necessarily, but just something for you to think about. All right. So for Giphy, for example, no one under the age of 13, all right, is technically allowed to be using it. And if you live in the European Union, United Kingdom, Liechtenstein, Norway, or Iceland, then it's nobody under 16 should be using it. And then also to be something to be aware of, search terms that are entered into Giphy, the search box, are visible to Giphy. So be careful not to enter any personal information. All right. Now that's not just a Giphy thing or a Book Creator thing. That's just kind of like general knowledge, right? Don't put a bunch of random personal information into those search bars. All right. So again, there is our privacy, what to know, right, for Giphy, and there it is. And so now I'm like, all right, I've read through it. I'm good. I'm ready to roll with Giphy. Let's turn this thing on. So I go down here to the bottom where it says Enable App, and now I have my Giphy settings. So here's what's really cool. Do I want to enable Giphy for my students? Maybe I've read through the privacy. I teach kids who are 9, 10 years old. I don't want to have them using Giphy. That's fine. You can use it as a teacher and make amazing content for your students and have those animated GIFs in there. But because these libraries are not checked, then my students cannot use Giphy. So you can choose individual libraries. So maybe you do have some older students that can use it, or you can choose this button here that says Select All, and now all of my libraries and all of my students will have access to Giphy. All right, so I'm just going to click the Done button, and there we go. Now I see the entire, there's a little green checkbox here up next to Giphy, and so now I can see that it has been turned on and enabled for those classes. All right, another one that we have, Bitmoji. And again, Bitmoji is an interesting one, and I will click on that one here just so that we can look at the information here for your card. There's the privacy details, and when I click on the privacy details, you can see here, Bitmoji is not available for students. All right, so Bitmoji is owned by Snapchat, and a lot of schools are kind of like, no way, right? Well, so Bitmoji here is the same. It's not available for students. We do make your information anonymous. And what's cool is that once Bitmoji is added to Book Creator, then it stays on the servers and it's always loaded from Book Creator. So we're not sending information back and forth to Bitmoji. All right. And then again, there's the be aware section down there at the bottom. All right, so that is the general workflow with the apps. Okay, and I did see a comment, love what we're doing with simplifying the privacy information. Yeah, privacy stuff, it's a lot, right? There's a lot to know and a lot to look at, and so yeah, I think that's really cool too, and I really do appreciate that. All right, so there it is. So Bitmoji available for teachers, not available for students. We have Canva, Google Drive, animated emojis, feedback stickers, Google Maps, and 3D models. All right, and so there's another one that you may have noticed has moved position, Google Maps. Google Maps is no longer part of our import button. It is now part of the App Store. All right, so you're going to have all of these different options here. And again, we are looking for new ideas as well. So if you have any, please let us know, and we'll make sure to at least take a look at it, and hopefully it's something that we can add. All right, so Catherine, I think enough of the privacy stuff and all of the background information. I think it's time to get in here and actually show everybody what these all look like. So we're going to go ahead to a blank page, and we're going to start adding some fun stuff here inside of our book. So I'm going to click the plus button. And as I mentioned earlier, a couple things have changed a little bit, so I do want to point these out while I'm here. Under the Media tab, this button used to say Import, and now it simply says Images. And so right here, you can click straight on this and go straight into our Pixabay image search. All right, so the Embed Feature, Google Maps, Files, Drive, that kind of stuff is no longer here. This is strictly just images. We heard the teachers loud and clear, and they just want it real simple for kids, so there it is, Images. Everything else that we are going to talk about is right here under this button that says More. So you just want to look for the rocket ship, and you're going to click More. And when you click More, you'll see all of the you'll see all of the apps that we have added. If you didn't add an app, it's not going to show there. If you didn't add it for your students and you just want to use it for yourself, it's not going to show there for your students, but it will be there for you. All right, so here are all of the different ones that I've added. And let's say that I didn't add all of them and you wanted to add another. You're going to simply click the button that says Add Apps. It's going to take you back to the App Store page, and you're going to be able to click the plus button and add those in. All right, so back to our book, plus button, more, and why not? Let's start it off with Giphy. All right, I love GIFs. And this is probably a whole separate webinar, Catherine, about the educational value of GIFs, right? I think you and I could probably fill an entire webinar on important ways to use GIFs, and maybe we can throw a couple of ideas in here. But I love GIFs, and if you are on Twitter, most people like them. All right, they're all over Twitter. So I click on Giphy. We do have a search button here, all right? So there are all of the animated GIFs right here. So if I want to, it's snowing in Ohio, so I'm going to put this panda. All right, so we've got our snow-covered panda here. And so I am going to put this over here on the side of my page. And then in true book creator fashion, I can click the plus button and I can add all of the other awesome information here that I want. Maybe I'm going to put a comic speech bubble in here, and I might say something like, ooh, feels good, right? I love snow. So you can see that you can use all of the standard book creator features here with the animated GIFs that we have included. Another thing to note about the animated GIFs is that we have done a good job of searching through and trying to find stuff that was the most educationally appropriate that we could find. All right, so keep that in mind as you're searching through these animated GIFs. All right, so there's one. All right, and of course, with the animated GIFs, if you click on those, there is that search bar so you can find just about anything that you want. All right, now this is a kind of a side note. I did not realize that this existed in Giphy, but there is a pack of stickers as well. All right, and so what's cool about the stickers, I'm going to add this clapping dog here to my page. What's cool about the stickers is that they don't have any backgrounds to them. And so now when I click, and maybe I'll use my inspector button here and I'll add a cool writing page background. All right, so maybe my students, I had them doing sentences, right, on the page, and I wanted to have it look like some piece of paper. So I put the cool background here and the kids have their sentences. I can now add this animated GIF sticker on top of the page and provide feedback, right, to my students. So now I see their work is here, and I have a little clapping dog down at the bottom saying, good job, Catherine. I really appreciate the sentence that you wrote there. I have to laugh. Total side note. My mother-in-law, every time my kids do something good, she sends a text message with a GIF, and it's the exact same one every single time. It's a dog. It's a dog clapping, right? Just saying like, good job. So I had to pick this one in honor of my mother-in-law, right? Who does this all the time. So Catherine, any thoughts or ideas about Giphy? Any educational things that you can think of right off the top of your head?
I love if you're doing, let's say you're in the process of the writing process and they're trying to pick out their characters. So if you want to, maybe you're doing a graphic organizer, they're trying to figure out for their character, maybe they're figuring out what the character is like. maybe the character is going to be nervous. You could type in different things like that, or yeah, they're scared, and they can put in one of those for that, showing their descriptions for their characters as well. So you can have text, they can have images, or they can have the GIFs as well. So it gives them just different options. Also for SEL too, teaching social emotional learning. Lots of different things.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking of like my son, he just broke his ankle the other day. And, you know, like when you go to the doctor's office, they're like, if you look at the emoji chart, right, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today, right? And so I think you could use the same thing with SEL, right? How are you feeling today? Choose an animated emoji, choose a Giphy or a Giphy sticker to explain how you're feeling today. So yeah, absolutely love that idea. Great stuff. Another thing too, I lied. I'm going to talk about it because it's on the top of my mind. Again, I think from an educational standpoint, sometimes we look at GIFs and we're like, yeah, they're fun, right? But not real sure if there's any educational value to it. One of the things that I loved with my trying to do with my students, especially in writing, they really struggled with writing, but they loved videos, right? And kids now, GIFs weren't even a thing back then, but now kids love GIFs. And so can we put a GIF on a page and then turn it into writing? So instead of asking them to do the writing first and then maybe find an image or a GIF, could we start with a GIF and have them examine everything that's going on in that GIF and then turn that into a writing process, right? Turn that into a story, turn that into a narrative or a comic, right? I think that would be really fascinating to look at the differences that kids could come up with and the different stories that they could come up with for different GIFs. All right, so GIFs like we normally look at them, and the Giphy stickers, right, which are my favorite. So I love Giphy. All right, next, plus button, more. The next one down is 3D models. Now these are a showstopper. All right, these are amazing, and especially with science teachers, I've showed this to already. They've gone absolutely crazy over this one. This is a partnership that we have with Sketchfab. All right, and Sketchfab is a group that has tons and tons of 3D models. And so here it is. There is a search bar, so you can certainly search for those 3D models if you want. Or underneath this search bar, we have all of these different categories. So food and drink, furniture and home, people, sports and fitness, fashion, electronics, all these different ones. I love cars, so I'm going to click on cars. All right, so I'm going to click on the category for cars, and all of these 3D models start to pop up. Now, I can already tell you right now that I think this Porsche is going to be cool. So I'm going to click on the Porsche. It's going to take a second here. It's going to load the model. This may take a little longer depending on how complex the model is, but you'll load it, and you're going to see that model here in just a second. All right, and what's really cool about this is once this model has been loaded, there it is. You can see as it shows you right here at the bottom, click and hold to rotate. So if I click and hold and drag my mouse on this model, I can look at it from all different sides. I can see the bottom, I can see the tires, I can rotate this all around, right? Which is really fascinating. And if I'm like, yep, that's the one I want, I click the button that says add, and now that 3D model is right there inside of Book Creator. All right, and what's even cooler here, again, for kids, they just click on it, and when they click on that model, it'll open up, and then they can scroll through it, and they can do just like what we just did a second ago. All right, so that's just the Porsche 3D model, but there are tons and tons of other models that are in there. I found one the other day of a beating heart. All right, so if I'm a science teacher and we want to talk about anatomy and we want to talk about different cells and organisms and things like that, tons and tons of examples in there. Absolutely love this. I think this would be really cool. One of the things that Catherine and I noticed during remote learning especially is that teachers started making more of their own educational content for kids. And if you're a science teacher and you're looking for 3D models, this is a great place to go to enhance your students' learning. So really, really think about this. Love this. Lori saw the comment there in the question box, is there a brain? Of course there's a brain, right? And that was one of my first searches was heart and brain, right? Because I wanted to see what that looked like. absolutely, those are in there. Catherine, any other thoughts on that one?
Sorry, I've been answering a bunch of questions.
It's all good. All right, plus button. Next one under the more category is Canva. All right, now this one was definitely a showstopper when we announced it. People were going absolutely crazy about this because they love Canva, they love Book Creator, and now you can smash them both together. And so we actually have a separate webinar on Saturday the 12th where Canva and Book Creator are coming together to do a webinar together, and it's going to be really awesome. So if you want to check that one out, we would love to have you join us. So I'm going to give you kind of the Cliff Notes version of this one. I am by no means a Canva expert, all right, but if you go to Canva, you can sign up for a free educator account, which is really great. And when you click on the Canva button here, after you've signed into both places, it's going to open Canva right here on the page. And what you'll be able to see is that Canva has worked together with Book Creator to create a bunch of amazing book covers and graphics and things like that that fit right in to what you're doing. So here's a certificate, for example. So I'm going to click on this certificate, and it's going to add this certificate to my page here in Canva. I can click on any of the items. I can adjust the fonts. I can adjust the size and colors. I can edit this all I want right here in Canva. And when I click Add to Book, then that book or that page is going to get added right inside of my Book Creator book. And then I can continue by adding my crazy cool Book Creator stuff right on top of it. So if I wanted to add a record button or a play button, I could do that right on top. If I wanted to add some shapes or Noun Project icons, I can bring that right in here as well. And all of Canva's goodies are available as well. Now, there is an interesting thing within Canva that I did learn about. If you create a book that is in landscape mode, like this book is, our playground book, you're going to get an entirely different set of covers and elements than you would if you were to add a book that was in portrait. So if I click on the portrait book here and click the plus button, more, and Canva, it's going to pop up with a whole different set of book covers, which is really awesome. And this is where Canva has spent most of their time developing the book covers with us, is in portrait mode. So I would encourage you to take a look at that. And I'm going to go down here and try to find some like children's book covers. All right, there's a whole section on children's book covers. Ooh, I like this one, the monster one. So I click on the monster, or if I click this button, it says see all. You'll get all of the children book covers, but there it is. I click on it, it adds it to my Canva page, and of course I can edit this and then click add to book, and then that Canva cover gets added right there inside of Book Creator. All right, so again, really, really awesome. Love this. And one of the things that I love, and actually I was just on a call with Canva today talking about our webinar, is not only is Book Creator good for making books, right, but this is good for all kinds of stuff. And there's a lot of templates, a lot of graphic organizers inside of Canva. You can make graphic organizers with the shape tool inside of Book Creator, but Book Creator is not just books and stories. It can be used for everything that you can possibly think of. You could use those 3D models inside of Book Creator to create a journal, science journal, right, for your students. So just so many different options and so many different subject areas that you can use Book Creator with. And if you need more of that kind of stuff, just as a quick reminder, you go to your teacher dashboard. Here under the Discover section of the teacher dashboard, tons and tons of examples of books written by students and teachers across grade levels. We've got books by our ambassadors that give you thousands of ideas of how to use Book Creator in every subject in every possible way you can think of. And then we have books by subject. So again, if you are questioning whether you can use Book Creator across the subject areas, the short answer is yes. And the longer answer is, in our Discover section, we've got thousands of ideas on how. All right, so I definitely want you to take a look at that. All right. I did see a question that says Noun Project, right? What is that feature? So it is one of our newer features, I guess, in the last few months. So I'll make a mention of that one here real quick. Plus button, shapes, and then right there at the top of shapes, there is a search bar. And if I type in something in that search bar, these are Noun Project icons. So there's roughly 2 to 3 million icons inside of this search bar that you can click on and add to your book. which is really cool. Great for vocabulary. I know that's one of Catherine's favorite ways to use Noun Project is for vocabulary assignments and things like that. So just awesome uses for the Noun Project. All right, next, plus button, more. So we talked about Giphy, models, and Canva. Google Maps, pretty self-explanatory, but if you really want to, you can click on that and you can add a map right there to your page. Fantastic way to teach, location, historical places, things like that. Love Google Maps. All right. As I promised, there are some other ones that used to be in the import button. Those are now here. The embed option. This is where you can find your files now. So if you want to bring something in from your computer, you can also do that. And then here's your Google Drive. All right, so we've got two more features here that we haven't talked quite about yet. The first one is animated emojis. So everybody loves emojis. Well, maybe not everybody, but emojis are cool, right? And so now we have a way that I can add these animated emojis right inside of my book. So again, earlier we were talking about SEL and using Giphy. This is very similar to those Giphy ones, I suppose, but we have some of our favorite animated emojis in here. And so, if I go to the, teacher asks me, how am I feeling today, right? Am I happy? Am I sad? I might click on this one here and I can say, I am happy. All right, so the assignment might be add an animated emoji to your page, telling, kind of showing how happy you are or how you're feeling today. And then down on the page, use text, use audio, use images to explain why you're feeling happy or sad or any of the other emotions, right? So I think this is a really cool way you can add these animated emojis to your book. One of my favorite ones, under the animated emoji, just scroll down. You can take a look at all of the cool emojis. We've got the ghost, we've got the clapping hands. So as teachers, you could use feedback, right, for your kids. So how did you do with your paper today? Add an animated emoji fist bump right to the page and say, yeah, awesome. Or maybe they didn't do something so well, they missed a punctuation mark, right? Have an animated pointing finger pointing at the part of the sentences that they need to fix. All right, we've got more as you scroll down here. We've got some cool animals. I know that Dan Amos, our founder, when he demos this, he always, one of his favorite examples is like the picture of an Australian outback, right? And we've got a bouncing kangaroo here, so you can put kangaroo across your scenes. And then again, as you're scrolling through, just plenty of examples. I personally, this rocket ship right here, which you'll see when you click on the plus button for the apps, is one of our favorites. So I love the animated rocket ship. All right, so those are the animated emojis. All right, next, plus button. And one of our final features here is our feedback stickers. So teachers love giving feedback to kids. When I was a kid, we loved getting feedback from the teachers because it always meant a sticker, right, on the page if you did something really well. And we looked forward to getting those stickers on our worksheets and things like that. So now we have feedback stickers. And so when you click on the feedback stickers, you'll see here all of these beautiful feedback stickers. They're bright, they're colorful, super engaging for your kids, and this is amazing. So you just click on one of the ones. So maybe you did a really good job. I'm going to click on this one that says top notch, and I'm just going to add that little sticker right there on the student work. Some teachers like to add it kind of off-centered so that it's a little bit on the page and off into the gray area, or you can put it all in the gray area. It's totally up to you, but you've got the stickers there. You can rotate these, and your kids are going to love them. For those of you that are old enough, this reminds me of the scratch and sniff stickers from when I was a kid. And I can just feel it right now. Like if I could just scratch that, it would smell like a cupcake or a pie, right? I can just imagine what that sticker smells like. So anyway, these are our brand new App Store features and additions inside of Book Creator. We are coming towards the end of our webinar, but if you have any questions, please put those in a chat window, in the Q&A box. If you have any aha moments, I've seen the chat window just kind of flying, so I haven't had a chance to read through any of those, but if you're excited about it, put that in there into the chat window as well. Catherine, did I miss any questions or comments, anything that you want to bring up to the group here?
Do you mind just showing one more time how to add the apps, where to go to add them?
Yep,
because
absolutely.
everyone should be able to, when you can add them from the account in the book.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
just to make sure, so everyone should have these. You don't need to have a premium account.
Correct. All right. So if you click the plus button, there are three categories here at the top: media, shapes, and more. All right. And so if you click the button that says more, then this is where all of the apps are going to show up. All right. Now, if you haven't turned on any of the apps, you'll see files and embed. All right, right there in that section. To get more, you're going to click this little button here that says add apps. And when you click it, it's going to take you to your teacher dashboard. It's going to take you to the App Store section, and these are where the apps are. All right, now I'm going to turn off Giphy here just to show you here what it looks like. So as a side note, you can always turn these on and off however you want. So if you don't want kids to use it for this activity, then turn it off. If you want them to use it for the next activity, you can turn it back on. All right, so when you click on the app that you want to add, click the plus button. That card is going to pop up. There's where we have our privacy information. And then turn the app on. You simply click Enable App. And then you choose who gets to see it. If you just want to see it, you're good. Just leave it alone. But if you want your students to be able to use it, you're going to click all of the libraries, or you're going to be able to click individual libraries for for which group you want to have. And then you click Done, and that's it. It is now turned on. And when I go back to my book and I click the plus button, More, you'll see here now Giphy is added, and it's usable right there within Book Creator. All right.
There's a few more questions on the Q&A. John, if you wanted to go over those ones.
All right. So, John,
kind of more live ones.
Sure. Say more about who can use Giphy. So Giphy is if I click on the privacy, all right, document here and see the details. Giphy's terms of service and privacy policy states that nobody under the age of 13 should be using Giphy. If you live in the European Union, United Kingdom, Liechtenstein, Norway, or Iceland, then nobody under 16 could be using it. Now, ELED question mark, if that means elementary education students, then technically from the terms of service and the privacy policy, the answer is no, right? Nobody under 13. But as a teacher, you can create your own books using the GIFs inside. And then you pick the ones that are appropriate for your students. You can put them into a book, and then your students can see those if you're using it for educational, materials and things like that. So that's how I would use that. And then Janet for Canva. So again, same kind of thing. You want to make sure that you turn Canva on, and then when you go to the apps and you click the plus button, More. So if I go inside of my book, I click the plus button, More. Canva will be there and turned on. Now, if you don't have a Canva account, or you want to create a Canva for Education account, you're going to need to go to their website, and you'll sign up for the educator account that way. All right. What is the perfect way to share this with my students? That's a good question. I think Catherine is going to go ahead, and she's already answering that one, so we'll leave that one there. Anything else? Oh, here's one from Iris. Will any of these new features be available in the iPad app in the near future? Iris, I don't have a direct answer for that one. I don't know if Dan is still here. Dan might be able to answer that question better if he's still here. I don't have an answer for that. And I think, I don't know. So I'll leave that one up. I don't know the answer to that one. I'm not going to even try to make one up. So we'll see if Dan says something. Nope. So iPad, no. App is offline only, so we will not be having those in there. All right. Francesca, what about copyrights for the graphics imported from these new apps? I have to credit the app in my book. So my general rule of thumb when it comes to copyright issues is if you are borrowing something from somebody and you're putting that into the book, it's always good practice, right? To give credit where credit is due. Now, in terms of the actual copyright laws of these these images. I do believe, and again, Dan, you can correct me if I am incorrect on this one, all of the animated GIFs, all of the animated stickers, those have all been given rights so that we can use those inside of books. All good to share. Yep, Dan says all good to share. All right, Barbara, paid subscription, but our district does not. If I create a library to share with my students and teachers, will teachers and students be able to access Canva if I turn it on? Or will it only work for those who have a subscription? So, Canva, the Canva one will only work if you have a Canva subscription. And in Canva's privacy page on our in our App Store section there, if you click on Canva and click on the privacy details, it will explain that inside of here. Now, if you create something in Canva, put it into a book, and then share the book out with your students, they'll be able to see it. But if you want students and teachers to create inside of Canva, then you do need an account. All right, so as it says right here, be aware, a separate Canva account is required to use the Canva app. So if your teachers and students don't have Canva accounts, then they will not be able to create inside of Canva. All right, and again, when we're talking about accounts, just be aware, Canva 13 or older. All right, with consent from a parent. All right. Awesome. Catherine, did I miss anything? Dan, did I miss anything? Felix, sometimes we need tables. Is there a way to have something like this? Maybe a simple spreadsheet function, but at least just something to sort words. Tables, graphs, charts, that's stuff that we've been looking into. On the short side, or the easy answer to this, you could always create something in your Google Drive as a spreadsheet, and then you could embed that directly into your Book Creator book if you wanted to. But graphs and charts and tables and things like that is definitely something that we've been looking into. And Catherine, I'm going to have you, if you could answer that one about becoming an ambassador, send the link there to becoming an ambassador. John, why are the restrictions on Canva and Giphy? I don't have a good answer for that because that would be one that you would need to take up with Canva and Giphy, for example. But I know that like in Canva, if you're not using the educator account, they do have a regular Canva account that lots of businesses use for marketing and things like that. And there can be some questionable backgrounds and things like that they might want to use, but not that are not necessarily appropriate for students. So that's why they have the regular Canva and the educator Canva, and that's why they have some of those restrictions. We have a district subscription to Book Creator, but it does not allow us to access the premium apps. It says try it. So Robin, I would definitely reach out to your district administrator and make sure that you're using the same email that they have in your district subscription. And if it make sure those emails match. And if they don't, then that might be why you're not seeing those. I mean, sometimes if you sign into Google with multiple accounts, when you sign into Book Creator, it sometimes remembers the other account, and so you might be on the wrong account. So I would definitely have you take a look at that. And if your district still is having issues with that, then definitely reach out to either me or Catherine. One of us has your school, right? So we'll take a look into that. All right, I am not seeing any of the stuff. Ooh, I love that comment. I'm so remotivated, right, to use Book Creator even more. That's what we want to see,
Yay!
right? We're always trying to keep Book Creator fresh, right? Simple, but fresh and exciting. And so that's a great, I'm out. That's it. I don't want to see anything else. I love that comment. We're just going to end the webinar right now because that's what we want. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. I think that's great. Christy agrees with that. Good question, Barbara. We get this question a lot. Are there student resources available?
On our YouTube channel, yeah.
Yeah, YouTube channel. We do have a student video, but I'll be honest, I have had quite a few teachers who actually use the certification videos and show those on the screen live in front of a group of students, which is a great way for kids to learn Book Creator. And also my personal favorite way is just to say, here you go. Push some buttons, right? You're not going to break anything. Try it out. Investigate Book Creator over 20 minutes, and everything is usually pretty good with that. So definitely lots of different ways that you can get your students to, to learn Book Creator, whether you give them the instruction or you just let them play. All right, loving the new features. Yep, just show them where to find the tools, right? That's it, Pauline, and then they're off and running. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that came here today to learn about the new features. Big shout to Catherine for answering questions, and Dan, of course, thank you for being there as backup and answering the questions as well. Just want to say be safe out there. Happy bookmaking. The recording of this will be on our YouTube channel in the next day or two, so if you need to go back and rewatch it, go for it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. But thanks again, everybody. Be safe and happy bookmaking.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Catherine.
Bye.